Hi, how are you? This is Damaris Maria Grossman, and this is the Mindfully Integrative Show. And thank you again for joining in. Today, we have a wonderful mindful chat with Brooke. Brooke, the nutritional coach. She is a wonderful woman that I got to meet online, and I can't wait for you guys to learn more about her. And I need to learn even more about her. So, Brooke, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
I appreciate your time and your knowledge that you're going to give to those listening and watching in this integrative health space and those trying to find, a different mindful way, as I call it. So I always ask, in the beginning, what's a little fun fact people don't know about you?
Fun fact, I guess could be I'm an only child, but I'm married into a very large family. My husband's the oldest of 7 kids.
Wow.
So that's been exciting. I actually really like it. He has 5 brothers and a sister, so it's 6 boys and a girl. And his sister is 17. So I'm 20 years older than her. And it's actually really fun because it's like I inherited 6 siblings.
Oh, that's kind of fun. So it's like you get to like have more people to talk to, more things to do and events, good and bad, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I say it's, when we go home for Thanksgiving or something and everybody's there, it's kind of fun because there's no need to really go out and find fun. Just all the fun comes to the house with all of his brothers and their significant others and wives. And it's really fun.
Oh, that, and it sounds like you'd like have a lot of like things to do and talk about and games. You know what I mean? Like a
Exactly.
lot of those kind of things?
Yeah. They have just a natural team built already in their family. So
Oh,
you
wow. Are they all
literally
pretty close?
play any sports game and they're all really close. Yeah. But yeah, it's fun.
That sounds, yeah, that is a good fun fact. Yeah. Being an only child to go to a bigger family, that like makes a difference. You know what I mean? A big change. Um, so I really thank you for kind of being on the show and kind of like, coming in and discussing certain things in your health and kind of your story. Kind of where, how did that develop for you? I mean, I know now you have your own business and you're a nutrition coach and um talk to me about what kind of got you there. What brought you to that point?
Yeah, so I currently live on the West Coast, which I was born and raised in Arizona, and I went to college in California. My
Mhm.
husband's from California. But after college, I moved to New York City. I actually was a teacher and I lived there for 12 years and taught in Brooklyn and New Jersey. And after college, I gained about 20 pounds, I'd say, in the first few years. So I like to say I was 20 pounds heavier in my 20s than I am
Mhm.
now. And it was never to the point where a doctor would kind of intervene or say anything, but I just felt really uncomfortable in my own skin and I couldn't really figure out why I gained the weight. I thought maybe it was that I was busier because of teaching, or I thought I'm getting older, even though I was 23 or whatever. Metabolism slows as you age, or I just couldn't figure out the why. And I also couldn't figure out the how to get the weight off. So I did what a lot of people do. I exercised 6 or 7 times a day, usually doing some type of cardio. The elliptical was my machine of choice at the gym. At one point, I went more keto and cut out carbs. At another point, I was trying different juice cleanses or detoxes. And I really bounced around to the things most people, I think, end up trying for weight loss. And what would happen is I would lose 5, 7, maybe even 10 pounds. But when I stopped following the strict rules of the plan, or when I stopped the juice cleanse or the detox or whatever it was, I would gain the weight back. So I was in that yo yo pattern that I think a lot of my now clients have found themselves in for years. And it was just really frustrating to me. I was confused. I was frustrated. At one point, I just thought, I guess this is what sort of happens as you go into a career and you get older. You just kind of gain the weight and you can't get it off. But I am a research lover and science lover and just wanted to figure it out on my own, I guess, if you will. I wasn't, like I said, getting really any instruction from doctors because it wasn't like it was a medical issue. It was more of a me issue of feeling more confident and energized and all of the good things that come along with, feeling amazing in your body. And so I ended up just diving into articles, podcast episodes from different experts. I eventually enrolled in course through the Institute of Transformational Nutrition to become a certified nutrition coach. And at the time, it was more just for my own knowledge. I was still teaching and wasn't planning on leaving my teaching career, but I just wanted the information. I just was like a information science research sponge, if you will. And eventually, I realized that the magic pill, if you will, for weight loss or maintenance is really learning research backed, science backed skills that are needed to lose the weight and keep it off. So, not signing up for, what someone's opinion is about you can't have any carbs
Right.
or you have to drink only this one juice. Or I had a client the other day say, do I have to eat a sweet potato every day for breakfast? That's what my friend's doing and they lost 10 pounds or something. There's a lot of opinions and mixed messages out there. So my realization was there are some basic skills, there's some rudimentary knowledge you can get your hands on when it comes to nutrition and behavior change. And once you master those skills, they can work for you and your own unique lifestyle. And then you're able to sustain your weight loss, maintain your weight long term, and all the great things that come with it, more confidence, having more energy. So I lost the 20 pounds, I kept them off. And now I love to say I enjoy all foods in moderation. Nothing's off limits. I just feel like I'm living my best life as the best version of myself. And I've left all of the BS nonsense in my past forever. And it's just really freeing and incredible. And I want other people to experience that as well. So I left my teaching job. My husband and I moved back west to be closer to family. And at that point, I started my business and I work now as a nutrition coach full time.
That's awesome. And I mean, that's excellent. The fact that you were able to kind of pivot and then now it's full time and it's kind of where your passion is. That's now, trying to make a difference for individuals on a greater scale for them to feel better. I like the fact that you were talking about, there's no one pill. I could talk about that quite often. There's no one thing. And that's kind of where this passion like podcast just came out of, just trying to getting people to understand that there is more information and more things to know to find out what's going on with you, and if weight management is something which I really think a lot of people are, in need of nutritional advice and nutrition coaching from someone like yourself, and understanding where they lie, right? Everyone wants to lose, but like, I don't know why these fad diets are out there. Go nonstop. It's endless. It can. What's the most annoying diet that you hear of? That the sweet potato one. I've never heard that one.
Yeah, that was a new one. I honestly learn of something new every time I have an initial
Oh,
consult with a potential client, but one I just heard of that I didn't understand. I'd heard of Nutrisystem before, but I guess they've rebranded as Isogenics. And so Isogenics, I think you can purchase a series of meal replacement shakes. I don't know. Pretty much everybody I work with has done the meal replacement shake or the protein bar
wait.
replacement at some point, and they usually do lose a lot of weight. But then
Initially.
yeah, but then when they start eating real food again, I mean, you're not going to drink those shakes forever. So I like to say use 100-year rule and ask yourself before starting something new, are you going to be able to do this for 100 years? And if your answer is no, don't do that because it's not
I
going to
agree
be
with you.
sustainable.
I talk about sustainability all the time, and I'm like, "Can you do this for your life? Is this something you can do for your life?" And they're like, "Huh, yeah, that's awesome. That's a really great tip." I mean, I haven't even gone into the a mindful tip for later, but so would you like to kind of talk a little bit about a client story or something more in like, I know with your website that you're with your business now that it's kind of been you're doing this full time. I obviously want those to reach out to you. I'll give them all the information in the show notes, but would you like to share a little bit about like a, testimonial or a story of one of the clients that kind of like really moved you and inspired you?
Sure. Yeah. I think most of my clients are women. I've worked with men. And pretty much the main things people say when they come to me is, I want to lose the weight permanently. I want to have more energy, and I want to have healthy eating habits that I can stick with long term. In different words, that's pretty much what everybody's aiming for. And I think the energy piece is what is the most incredible, because the weight loss is going to take time. If you're coming at it in this healthy, sustainable approach, it's not going to be that you lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks or whatever these crazy crash quick fix diets are promising. So, a healthy rate of weight loss is going to be more like a half pound to a pound a week. And if you think about it, that would be up to 52 pounds a year. So sometimes people think it's too slow and, I want to lose more than that. But if you could lose 52 pounds in a year and then keep it off for 50 years after that, that's really incredible. So we try to focus on that. But that's going to take some time. So it's not that you're just going to see a change in your physical composition overnight. And the healthy eating habits long term is something that is going to take time as well to get into a routine and to set new behaviors. But the energy piece, I would say, is always the coolest with clients. And there's specific clients who have come to me and said it, but I'd say across the board, when you start getting the nutrients you need at meals and you start fueling your body in a way where you're getting enough protein, you're getting a lot of produce and fiber, and you're naturally feeling full and on these whole foods, you're probably consuming fewer calories because they're
Right.
filling and
Right.
they're not designed. A potato is much harder to overeat than a bag of potato chips. So it's
Exactly. Exactly.
it's a
Totally.
pretty cool shift. And then when clients come to me, and the term they often use is snacky. So when they say, "Oh my gosh, it's incredible. I have energy now. After lunch, I don't have that crash at 4 p.m. I don't feel snacky before dinner and after dinner. I thought I was addicted to sugar and I just had a me problem and I didn't have enough self control or willpower." But then their mind is just blown that when you make little tweaks here and there, and it doesn't involve overhauling your entire lifestyle overnight as they've done in the past, but just how powerful small nutritional tweaks can be for making it through till dinner, not feeling out of control with everything in your pantry after dinner. That I would say is always my favorite part. And so yes, it is about the weight loss because clients typically come to me wanting to lose weight, but they end up realizing that it's about so much more, and it's about the feeling in your body or buttoning your pants, and they just naturally quickly button. It's not, trying to get them up and
Yeah.
wrestling with
Yeah.
them. Those are the really cool wins, if you will, for me with clients.
I mean, and they're important wins because it's now you probably seen obviously that you see the correlation with weight loss, emotional response, behavior, and like the overall they're the way that they're you're an additional therapist for them.
That's actually funny that you say that because I have one client. I would never say, I'm a
No, 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 you're
doctor.
not a therapist, but
Yeah,
you know what I'm
I'm
saying?
not
I'm
a
just saying
therapist.
as a
Yeah.
provider and as someone that's around it on a regular, I'm telling you, you're one of the additional persons to talk to. People need to talk about food.
Yes.
They need to talk about their relationship with it.
Yeah. And this client came to me and they have a therapist. And she was saying, I was talking to my therapist last week about you. And I was saying, you're my nutritional therapist. You're the person I talk to about food and who's helping me work through some of these emotional eating patterns and things that I
Right.
have.
Right.
So it's cool. I think, a lot of people try to go it alone. And I know I did for years. And when you're misguided and you're just Googling how to lose weight or how to keep weight off, there's all these ads that are going to pop up because the diets and the fads and all these programs out there are really brilliant with their keyword search terms. So the things that pop up first in Google might be something else that's going to lead you down the wrong path, or maybe somebody has a really strong affinity for keto and they have a blog post that's going to pop up in the top of the
Oh gosh,
results.
the
And
conversations
so
I have about keto, I'm just like, guys, come
yeah,
on.
Exactly. And
It's
like
not
that's one of the
keto
big
that's gonna
ones.
make you lose weight, people.
Exactly. So I just think outsourcing, it's something that I feel like, we eat all day long. And it's something that people feel like we all do it and it's second nature and we've been doing it since we were born. So I should just know how to do this and I shouldn't have to work with someone. And I totally get that feeling. But also, if you go that route and it takes you 15 years to figure it out, or if you hire somebody in outsource and it takes you 3 months to get your hands on the knowledge, I just think the trade off, you know, putting your money towards an expert guidance versus a $300 detox is going to be so much more well spent.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and people, yeah, I mean, whatever the cleanse is for the week isn't gonna change the overall behavior for the day. So, for yourself, being that you kind of had changed your habits overall, was there anything that you felt like you had to give up with your own foods, or did for the most part you've been able to eat almost everything?
I think for me, one
Or you
of
just changed
the
your
big,
perspective?
yeah, so a big perspective shift I had, I forget even how I got my hands on it. I think I was gifted it or it was a free book for something, but there's a book called Willpower Doesn't Work by Ben Hardy.
Hmm.
And you could Google Ben Hardy Willpower, and he has a Medium article as well. And so I read the book, and the premise is essentially that it's you're not failing if you don't have enough willpower in the terms of weight loss, let's say, to avoid all the stuff in your pantry all day long. That really, when you put systems in place and you start focusing on actions and you set up an environment that's supportive of your success. So, James Clear also talks about this in his awesome book, Atomic Habits, but how you make the next action as easy as possible by setting up an environment that's supportive of reaching your goals. So, for me, in my 20s, I was buying all of the stuff that had always been in my home. So, the chips, the ice cream,
Right,
the
right, right.
candy, and it just was kind of natural to me at the store to wander down those aisles and throw those things in the cart. And then I would get home, unpack them, and then just spend the majority of my evening trying to resist eating those things. And it took so much mental bandwidth and energy. Just and then when I would cave, I would never eat half of the pint of ice cream. I would eat the whole pint of ice cream and then I would
Mhm.
feel sick and then I would beat myself up for not having better willpower or self-control. So that book really was game changing for me in realizing if I set up an environment that's more
Right.
supportive of my success and I don't bring those things into my home in the first place, I've freed up so much mental energy. And it's not
Right.
the idea that I can never have a scoop of ice cream. I still enjoy ice cream on occasion, but I don't keep it around in my home within 10 feet of me at all times. So that's one of the biggest perspective shifts I've had. And,
I mean, that's a
I think that,
great point to say, like, everyone will have. And I mean, I joke with someone, I, ice cream is definitely one of my, tweaks too, and one of my patterns, but I don't have it available for myself. But when I do get it, I have to walk 2 miles to go to the ice cream shop. And then I have to walk 2 miles back. So but
exactly. It's even,
it's not something that's on a regular. So, but yeah, I think
yeah,
that's just one small tip right there. I mean, it's so helpful. Is people need to know that it's those changing those patterns that, or not just pattern, just changing that behavior and making your
right. And
environment easy. That's so, I mean, I don't think we even think of that.
yeah, and I was talking to a client the other day, and I people on the outside, I think, will look at a nutrition coach or a health coach or a dietitian on Instagram or wherever and think that we just have something innate in us and some natural propensity to avoid these, highly processed addictive foods. And I don't. There's nothing unique about me when those things are around. For example, I was gifted a couple boxes of Milk Duds for Christmas because they're my favorite. And so when they were in my house, I was eating them and they're gone in a couple days. It's hard for me to not eat those things that are the highly tempting foods. And so when I have them around, I eat them. So there's nothing unique or special about me. I just have more systems in place and I've learned more skills at this point to make weight loss and weight maintenance something permanent in my life. And so there's nothing, I guess the message I'm trying to say is there's nothing wrong with you. If you haven't been able to lose the weight and keep it off yet, there's absolutely nothing broken about you. It's not that you lack dedication. It's just figuring out how it's going to, how your lifestyle can best support your goals and then going from there.
I think I mean, you hit it right on straightforward. I mean, how you've placed it is so much better than I would have probably said. I think that people really need to hear you. They need to meet you because nutrition is kind of a part of a foundational part of lifestyle medicine because and this integrative components that I talk to people about because diabetes and obesity are just the oh my god, some I would say probably the worst right now in our country that lead to many other ailments, but that and then heart disease. Okay. So it's like between diabetes, metabolic syndrome, and heart disease. I feel people really need to get a hold of what they're putting in their mouth in many
Yeah.
levels, you know, not
Yeah.
even just in a weight aspect. Um, so I just very much so I'm glad that, you came on the show to put your insights and for those to reach out to you when available to you and for them. Is there anything coming up or a way that they can reach you on? I'm going to put in the shows, but if you'd like to directly say your website and how they can reach you.
Of course, yeah. So my website is thehealthinvestment.com, and I have a 3-month one-on-one coaching program, and then I also have a group coaching program. So there's different kind of levels of affordability and support to meet people where they're at. And then I often host different workshops. So I have one coming up next week. This it'll probably have passed, but the replay may still be available. So if you're hearing
Great.
this and you want the replay, you could reach out. But it's called the 3 C's of sustainable weight loss. So I'm going to be talking about calories, consistency, and cravings.
Great.
So reach out, email me if you're interested in the replay of that when you're hearing the show.
Sounds I can't wait. I'm going to have them re-talk and I'd love for you to be on the show and maybe we can even do like a webinar of an event or something. So,
That'd be
and
awesome. Yeah.
look forward to reaching out to you at some point for a collaborative book with all the guests on the show.
Awesome. Thank you so
So
much.
let's touch base. And I am so glad that you were able to be here. For those listening and those watching, thank you again.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. And my listeners on the Mindfully Integrative Show, make sure you find your mindful way each and every day.